years ago in the city of Liverpool, this is like a crime thing. Years ago in the city of Liverpool, the way they gathered intelligence was basic. They couldn't gather it. So what they done, they developed a system. So at one point you just had the PNSA, the Police National Computer, the PNC, Police National Computer, and everything was put on the PNC about criminals, any like received information, but it'd have to be like received from someone on a phone. It couldn't just be anonymous. Do you understand? It wouldn't get considered if it was anonymous until later they started considering Crime Stoppers and all that kicked in, didn't it? How are you, Elaine? You should be looking into being an advocate and speaking of schools. I've passed that. I'm past that period now, lad. I was trying to do that for it. Just got wrecked by the not so ruly people within society. And I lost my chain of thought there. It's going to be powerful, that as well, when I explained it. Never mind. That's why I don't get on the comments when I'm focused on the subject, because it's not. When I'm speaking about things, you've got to understand, when, say I'm reading this stuff what I'm speaking about, you know, if I'm reading this and not just like picking it up and it's just coming to me and I'm explaining to you. If I was reading this, I'd be able to just go, but because I'm not reading it, if I'm took off the subject, it's just like it goes. And I'll speak about it again in a day or two, if it needs speaking about. So sorry about that. If someone can remind me where it was at, we'll get back going. Actually, listen to you, Darren. I don't always comment. Always right, mate. Juliet and Mac, how are you? Well, good, until shit hits the fan. Well, the shit hits the fan all the time. What are you going to do? Not get a wash? Oh, you had the PNC. So the Police National Computer. And everything the police done went through that. So what they developed, and I think when they developed the matrix system, so you think matrix is just a police unit, don't you? And you might think Matrix is that film, don't you? And you might think Belwith breaking out the Matrix sort of shout is like, I know Matrix as an intelligence computer that was set up by Merseyside Police in, I think it was 95 or 2000s, like that. 2000s it was. And it was set up, I'm not lying, it was set up to do with gangs and shit like that, and how they gathered intelligence and what intelligence they considered and what intelligence they didn't consider. And there was loads of intelligence that was never considered under the old way. So under this new way, all intelligence was considered. And at the same time, they developed a way how to fingerprint your firearms. So on this new matrix setup, with the new matrix setup, it went digital. So we had scanners, and we could just tap into the radios and listen where the police was and what they were doing. And if they switched onto a mobile phone, you could just go boom and lock in through your scanner. You know, you'd have it in your mom's kitchen or in your bedroom, just listening. You know, to what's happening out there, every 999 call. And it switched all over to digital because too many people were locking in and using it as 5 hour on the way. You know, like that sort of stuff. So what they'll do now is, with this matrix thing, they'll go to a scene of crime, and you get loads of people going, no one snitched, but trust me, you know when an house is being shot up, and the mum's there, and the sister's there, but the lad, the son's gone, whatever, and police turn up, them victims are emotionally going. Now they're not writing it. They're not putting it officially on a statement. Now when it wasn't officially on a statement, it was discounted. Weren't even considered. Now with this matrix, we're considering everything. So if they turned up at a scene of crime and they had people saying, it's Darren G, it's Darren G, it's Darren G, but not putting it on paper, they'd go away, go on the matrix computer and type your name in and lead you to it. And then going down the line, if you got pulled and you had a grand on you and it stunk of weed, matrix wouldn't do nothing to you, just then another shooting there, then someone's being dragged in a car there and your name's just getting flooded at it. People ringing 999, I think I've seen Darren G here. Every time you're mentioned, you get put into this system. And every gangbanger, every gun nominal, every affiliated to gang culture, all this is in this matrix system. Drug dealers, gangbangers, violent crime, all this is in this one system. And what it does is, every time a certain individual is mentioned or come across during a routine pull or is dressing lavishly, got a big car, flaunting money, it's all put into this system. And eventually, it's created a list out of thousands in the city. I know this because it was put on the list and I was placed at number 1. This is how I know about it. So the more intel they put in it, the more your name's mentioned, the further you're going up the list. Now they know you're active, but they know what level you're at. And just by, they don't even have to go and search to see who's the dangerous kids. Why? Because there's loads of people talking unofficially. You know, you've got plants everywhere now. You've got lads sitting there listening, going to his handler into the system. You know, it could be a policeman off duty and he's walked in a gaff and you've got a group of lads talking about something that happened with my man, policeman, putting my man's name in the system. This is all intel, and eventually you're getting pushed up the list because your name's getting put in the system. They mightn't have even met you, but you're just appearing in the top 50 all of a sudden. I'm like, who's he? Why is his name being mentioned all these times? Let's have a look. But they're not coming for you, they're just aware of you now. Why? Because they've got a top 10 list. So you might have 100 people on the list, but you're not getting touched till you tap into the top 10. And every time they take someone out, you go up. You don't disappear off it. It's just because no more intelligence is getting put in there doesn't mean you disappear off the list. It just means you haven't come into the zone, the danger zone. So eventually, if they clear that 10, the next 10 are the top 10. Then the next 10 will be the top 10. And if you stop committing crime, but you were sat at 30, you're going to end up in the top 10. And you might just be going through your life thinking you're untouchable. But no, hang on, we're on you now, we've come to look at you. Look through your finances, look to your connections and just... So the less you're mentioned, the less you're seen, the better in that crime world. But the reason I'm bringing that up, it's because it's like the matrix system is like a part of the biometric identification system, in the sense that, say you go in a police station and they've got you walking to the end cell on the corridor. If you're a dangerous individual, use general people in the public, it's done to you already. But if you're dangerous, they want how you walk, your posture, what you do when you're turning around. They want all that. So they'll have a camera at the end of the corridor in your custody suite without you understanding it. And you walking down is giving them a decent graph of how you walk. So now when you're released on the street and you come across a facial recognition camera, it can pick you up on your walk. I'm telling you, I'm not lying to you, you can have your face covered. They'll get on you by your walk. And because you've came out your house on camera 1, and by the time you've got to camera 20, it's only a mile. They've seen the trainers on your feet you're wearing every day. They've seen the clothes you're wearing. They've seen the bike that you're in and out your house of every day for the last year. They've seen it all. Just because they're not using it in a criminal court against you, just because you haven't been dragged into court for speeding, doesn't mean they get rid of the content that's on the camera. Do you understand what it's all data? You've got to understand how valuable data is right now. You've got to understand just how much your details and your face image and your fingerprint and all this is worth. Not just to criminals, to governments. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you see the way yeah, go ahead, you can bang Everton's ground on Bramley-Moore, Dockrell, right down there, bang. Why? Because that's going to be a football stadium for that district. And that's going to be the concert arena, football stadium and everything else for that district. Understand what I mean? Everton's ground's not just a football stadium. You'll understand that in the future. It's going to be accommodating all sorts of public events. Who for? That district. Will it be a good thing? I think we're going to need it. I think it's needed. And they know it's needed. Why? Mass immigration. They won't be able to control nothing if there's no borders. They need to isolate, like in prison. When there's no districts or little cities or whatever you want to call them, let's call them districts prison wings. And when it goes off on that prison wing, they can isolate it from overspilling into the other prison wings. Do you get what I'm saying? So they can lock off that one wing and let the other wings be normal. Still go to work, still feed, still get out and still need to do what they do within their community. They've isolated this now and they're completely locked off. And with the technology that they've got coming, you know, what's saying you're not going to get, instead of having concrete walls and metal fences, you've just got a line of drones. That when it's going off its cake in there, they just go zoom and you just go zzz, 1,000 drones in front of you with spray on it. Every time you try and get near them, see sprayed by 1,000 drones. I know it's far-fetched and it's, you know, it's right down there type of thinking, but I always think right down there. It could happen. Are you sitting there saying that would never happen? Why couldn't that happen? They've got the technology, they've got the ability, and trust me, if they started using that, no one would. We're all used to a little shitty helicopter. They won't even use a helicopter. But all these could happen, couldn't they? If you broaden your mind and have a little, you know, be optimistic about what could and what may not. You see, your perception of things can differ, can't they? I can really see that type of shit happening. I can really see the biometrics at the end of your estate. I wouldn't even be surprised if you try and make your district resemble a posh estate, a closed posh estate, an entrance. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like a zoo. You come in, oh hi, you're okay? You know, like a gate or a prison. It's what it is. It's just, that's how we're in a prison. And the sooner you understand that you're locked in this shit place, the sooner you understand you just got to get on with life and be as comfortable as you can. Honest. Without making the prison you're in more secure. This prison you're in, you think you're free, don't you? It's mad. You can't spend the money when you want to. You can't drive where you want to. You can't even eat when you want to these days, but you still think you're free. And it doesn't get better than this. This is the best. It's the best it's ever going to be until you pass through. Naturally, not by ending it. You know, from here, mate, if you start thinking you can challenge the system, you get put in prison. If you start thinking you can challenge the system in prison, they put you in the segregation unit and they'll leave you there to rot. Won't give about you. You all think that, like, you just got to understand what they can do to us if they wanted. You just got to understand what they can do to us if they wanted. You see them 90,000 kids in prison now? They can make you disappear. Out of them 90,000 people, they can say, oh, we discharged him. Yeah. Do you think we haven't got them dark forces? Do you think, like, we've just got the army and we've just got MI5 and we've just got special branch MI6? Is that what you think? We've got James Bond. We have got killing teams. Not us, the government. The governments have got people that can turn up to your place and make it look like a criminal's killed you. Honest. Make it look like a burglary. Hit you once, you're dead, but they'll make it look like a burglary. Honest to God, mate. You know when Russia's getting blamed, you know when you're seeing all these agents getting found in suitcases and shit in £1 million apartments in London, straight away the government say it's Russia. It's not from Russia. You know when that stockbroker got shot in his garden years ago, that John down Essex in Kent or something, a big millionaire got took out in his garden and they blame Russia. It's the British government, mate. Naughty, the government, you know. This government's naughty. It's why they own the world for most of it. They've never done that kind. Sabotaging governments in other countries and that, making them fall, overturning them, like Ukraine. It's the only reason we're invested in Ukraine now, with this much dough in this many years. Because we helped overthrow the government in 2014. Don't you remember when you're seeing the man bailing on an helicopter? Don't you remember when it looked like all Russian forces were in Crimea? And you're seeing the president just go, phew, and they were saying it's Russia, it's Russia. It wasn't. It is now, they're in there now having a bash, but back then, you mightn't be able to remember it, but I can, because I was caught up in that. I've been caught up in this, like, mad space of mad shit, right through my jail and that. So I was caught up in it, and what you had is, you'd have like an army just enter Ukraine and invade the presidential palace. The president got on a helicopter, you could see it all. He got on a helicopter with his bird and just been bailed. I don't even think he's been seen since, to be honest. But from him, you got the kid who's in now. That was the overthrow of the Ukrainian government in 2014. But the British and the NATO were saying the overthrow was by Russia. It wasn't. Anyway, let's leave that there, because in Ukraine you've got loads of women and children getting absolutely from... Their life's just getting harmed, isn't it? Same in Russia, but not to the same extent. And I'm just on the fence, aren't I? I'm not on the fence when it comes to protecting women and children and the future. I'm on the fence when it comes to... I don't care if you support them or them. My interest is this. So don't get offended if I'm speaking about certain places. You know, I've always got empathy for the loss of life in these places. Palestine, Sudan, here, Ireland, Spain, Ukraine, Darfur, South Africa. There's kids and women getting killed all over the gaff. No one gives a f***. They're just all caught up on that. Who do you support? And that comes through the division they've implemented in us. You've got to pick a side. You've got to pick a side, left or right, red or blue. And you see that signalling, that symbolism all the time, don't you? That division, that symbolism, division. Red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. Labour, Conservative. Labour, Conservative. The red car and the blue car had a race. Do you understand what I mean? Just reaffirms the division. Voting is to make us feel we have a say. It's bull. You've got to say. You've got to say in... You're just not on it. All of us aren't on it. Like the posh boys are on it. So when you're seeing them chambers with politicians and all this shit, they're just posh people using their head to get in power. Poor people can do it if they have the funding. Like I said, look at Tommy Robinson. Never been in politics as a way of... He's been in politics as an investigative journalist, if you like. But he's never been in politics as a politician. Right? He's got no experience at all. He's got nothing. You know, if Elon Musk starts backing him with his billions, he will be the Prime Minister of this country. Why? Because the money will get you in power. And that's the only difference with all them. You can with that. Above that you can't fuck with. We can all fuck with the political process in this country. Above that we can't. No one can. That's a difference. This Starmer and all these lords and all these idiots, that's what they are, idiots, all of them. Above them, not even King Charles. Above King Charles is where the real people are. He's just a puppet, Prince Charles, like his mother was. And I'm not saying this to offend no one. I'm not saying this to offend no one. It is what it is. That's how it is. And for you to think it's not that way, it's a little bit immature here. And anyone can influence the political structure and take power on the streets. Anyone, you're witnessing it now. Look at the Muslims. They've been doing it for 15, 20 years. That's why they're in the political structure now, all over it. In most of the powerful positions, because they've been on it. Money can give you the power in this country. And if you've got the money of the richest man in the world, you're getting in power. And there's nothing you can do about it. They're trying to stop it now. For years, Labour and the Conservative governments have been getting donations off millionaires and billionaires from all over the place. Yeah, they were UK residents and now they're living down there in Monaco, but they're shifting billions in, or 5 million to the Labour Party to make sure they get in power. So his mates and his thing get a little rub down at the end because their business is going to be involved somewhere. And this is what it's like. That's exactly what it's like. So what they're trying to bring in now, you'll hear it start popping up on the news. We don't like foreign intervention within our political structure. Oh, you liked it all of a sudden, but now because Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk is all of a sudden, you don't want foreign investment in the political structure in this country all of a sudden. Because they know. A couple of billion off Elon Musk and Tommy Robinson, he's getting in power. So they're trying now to rush through legislation which prevents Elon Musk, because he's not a UK resident, interfering and sending money. But they're clever men. They're clever men. You've probably got someone on the team already resident here and they'll just bang the billions into there and go, yeah, you do it for me. Now if Tommy Robinson was managing to get funding down there in this country or for them people which were billions and it got him into power, he wouldn't get there. Why? Because the people donating him would get targeted. The people that are trying to get him into power would just be kind of harassed by the establishments. Because there's no way they want him in power. But he can't do that if he's backed by Elon Musk. They're not big enough to hold Elon Musk to account. And they all know they're not. That Prime Minister can't hold Elon Musk to account. He's mad. Don't think he can for 1 minute. There's a reason why all these little idiots from Europe, all your prime ministers and all these knobheads from right round Europe have been flying to the White House. They've been told, here, Thursday, 5 o'clock, make sure you arrive. Oh yes, okay. That's what you're witnessing right now. And there's been a few of them shouted at, and a few of them have got a little bit cheeky, because they're in the gang. You do understand? The NATO, the European countries are like a little gang. Starmer, France, Germany, not Italy. They're on the other thing, aren't they? They're on the Christian thing. Hungary, Christian thing. All the other countries are on this either no religion or religion of a different kind. As I said yesterday, mates, I can see it going. I can see at the end of this little 30-day period going right off. I can see it going right off. Why? Because I'm looking at the posturing, and I'm looking at Starmer and all these idiots that haven't got a clue what they're doing, posturing to Trump. Not a good thing, that lad. Since I've grown up, I've always understood that we're just an airport for America. Do you understand what I mean? We're an airport for America. So if America wants to go to war with China, which it may do, they need a base, and that's what we are, a base. If we say no to America, they'll just run through us and go, don't be daft. We're nothing to America, never have been. Him posturing, standing, oh, we've got 30 countries standing. Do you think America give a f***, mate? I can see America coming through us, you know. If Starmer doesn't back down and do as he's told. If Starmer doesn't stop the immigration. If Starmer doesn't stop all this mad shit that he's stopping in America. He's getting off. So if Starmer keeps on aligning the cultural needs of the people in that with Europe and not with America's Western values, we're getting flogged by America, and he won't give two f***s. Trust me. Why? Because he needs to steal. He needs that tungsten steel, mate. And this country's full of it. And if they're going to war, and the world's at war, and they need new arms and new bullets, and Little Britain's full of tungsten, they're not getting it off China. China's already stopped it, haven't they? China's just put like 50% tariffs on tungsten steel, and that's where America got most of the tungsten steel. And they only started getting it from there because Britain ceased production of the tungsten steel. Hence all people losing their jobs all over the gaff. Now they're going to have to bring it back into play. Because they need the bullets and shit like that. Anyway, that's over there somewhere, innit?